Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
What up, y'all? It's Joe Budden, here to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. You can get up to 100 times your money.
Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code SPOTIFY. That's code SPOTIFY on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Don't Blame Me. Today, our guest is Geo Antoinette from Bart and Geo on YouTube, and you're also a big boss lady.
Am I?
You are.
Oh, thank you. I like that.
You've got so much. Tell everyone else where else they might know you from. All the stuff you do.
So I'm part of JK, and JK, so it's JK News or JK Films, JK Party. And then I own a gym.
Yeah.
And a gym apparel line, Barbell Brigade. So check that out. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. And just Bart and Geo, like our family channel.
Teach me how to be successful.
Oh, when I find out, girl, I'm telling you all of it.
You do so much shit. Like,
Yeah.
so much. And we've had Nikki Limo on the podcast
Yeah.
before. And so I've heard, she's like, oh, I have a friend who has a gym and all of this. And I was hearing all this stuff. And then I found out that
she's so sweet.
all of the accolades about this, like, they were you just you.
Oh, wow.
You were the person. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, that's so nice
I was
of
like,
her.
that's, she's a good hype man.
I love her.
Yeah, she
well,
didn't drop her name, though.
No, she didn't drop your name. Oh, yeah. So she's not a good publicist, but she's like a good hype woman. You know?
No, I love Nikki. She does a bunch of stuff herself, too.
Yeah.
She's
does.
everywhere.
She does.
Yeah.
And I'm over here being like, well, I've got a podcast and it's taken me about 6 years to write my book. Well, guys, if you are new here, this is an advice podcast. And the phone number, if you want to call in, is 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com.
I'm happy you know the phone number now.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You didn't know it before.
No, it took a lot. It took way too long.
Dude, you're flexing on us all day today. Yeah. Good for you.
I also practiced the phone number yesterday in my apartment alone.
Yeah. Were you in front of a mirror?
No, I was just sitting at my desk and suddenly I was like,
You were sitting at your desk?
No, I was sitting at my dining room table.
That's what I figured.
I love it. She calls you on your bullshit.
My God, no, 100%.
I love it.
Yeah, no, it's
Do you even own a desk?
valid.
Yes, she did.
Okay, cool.
In that
it's
room
so
that we were
clean.
talking about, that all her shit was
The hoarding.
It's so clean though. Should we get on to the calls?
Yeah.
I'm 23, and I just have a little issue. I went to Catholic private school my whole life. If it was up to my choice back when I was a middle schooler, I would have loved to go to the fun-looking public school that my neighbors went to. Now I am not religious. I have not been religious since I was probably 16, and I still have this weird thing about sex where I still have that weird stigma, even though I don't agree with any of it, and I am very much a feminist. I am just not religious at all. You know, if you are, that's fine, do you. But I guess it just still bothers me a little bit, and I'm still a little uncomfortable about sex. And I guess my question is, how do you get over that stigma that you were brought up with, and that's still kind of in the back of your head about sex and about, like, I got the whole tape on the arm thing. I heard the whole, chewed gum argument, all of it. And I was just wondering if you guys have any tips on how I can be more comfortable with sex and having sex and stuff. I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years, and we have sex all the time, but it's still in the back of my head sometimes, and it's kind of weird. So if you have any tips on that, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
That's definitely not weird.
No.
I grew up very Catholic.
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait, let me take that back. I don't know why I just lied. So I grew up in a Catholic household, not very Catholic, but so I'm Mexican, and then we like to have the picture of Jesus and stuff like all over our walls, and my mom had like a saint in every single room. So just knowing that, and then knowing that God's like all over and like
Big Brother is watching.
Right, absolutely. Like masturbating was the worst up until like I was like 30 something. Like I would even have to do it under the covers like that. I'm just like, they're fucking watching me right now. Like I can't do this. So I can totally relate to that. Absolutely. And so I don't think it's weird at all. For me, what helped me at least was just like going, fuck this. Like, how was I created? Like, they were busting nuts for sure. You know what I mean? Like, they're
so
busting nuts. So I need to bust nuts too. And I would just like take the cover off. But it felt so weird.
Yeah, and it just took time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. I grew up totally opposite. I grew up like in such a sex positive environment that I was like, please stop talking. It was disgusting. I was like, I need you not to talk about anal sex all the time.
Your parents would talk to you about anal sex?
I was not into it. It was not a good time.
Well, can I get a little?
It was just too much. It was like, it was over the top talk about.
Like your mom would get like on the table and be like, this is what happens? Or like, that's over the top.
I mean, I don't know if she would get on tables and stuff, but like it was very much like unsolicited sex advice and like intimacy talk with me and all of my friends and or acquaintances and or boys I talked to like in middle school. And I was like, this is terrible. So I think there's a happy medium of like empowering your kids with knowledge, but also not like grossing them out. Like before I've had a period and we're like talking about like, I don't know, like gross stuff. I mean, not gross stuff, but like as a kid, I was
as
like,
a kid, it's nasty. Hell yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, so I don't know why I suddenly stumble upon these YouTube channels and I will sometimes watch them of like, I don't know if you call it like ex-religious people or people who've like kind of come out of it. And usually it tends to be more really intense if it's like Mormonism or something like anything like that, and they have these YouTube channels where they talk about that kind of stuff. And there is a channel called Mr. Atheist, and I literally watched like a 45-minute video that he did, and that's how I know the chewed gum metaphor, because he did a whole video about purity culture, and it's about if you chew a piece of gum, it's really great first, then you keep chewing it and you keep chewing it, and all like no one else wants this, like, and other people are chewing this piece of gum, and then your husband gets this piece of gum that is essentially you and it's already chewed up. And like no one wants that now. That's gross. That's used.
Oh.
So I don't know what the tape one is. That's the gum one. What's the tape one?
Is demonstrating how
the tape's no longer sticky anymore. That's what it is.
Yeah. You keep putting tape on people till it's not sticky.
Yeah. So he talks about this like in his on his channel, and he used to be grew up really religious and had a hard time. And a huge thing that he focuses on is the danger and like the issues with purity culture, which I think is like a huge part of the guilt, because it is your boyfriend, you're not married to him, so like in the world of religion that is not okay. So I would really suggest, I think like what you said, of really just going for it and then practicing that, because I think like anything, when you're so used to something for so long, and let's say you spent like, I don't know, you said 16 years of your life practicing this one thing that was right, and you're in your 20s now, it hasn't been 16 years of doing the opposite.
Right.
So you just have to make the time that you've been sex positive and enjoyed that just as long. I think it might take you just as long of each kind of realm of your life to kind of get there and feel comfortable, because you're unlearning 16 years of behavior. Yeah. And then I would also really encourage to watch and like consume content of people who are in that same position. So I think his channel is really, really great. There's another one. She's still religious, but she's very, she's a feminist and she's like
liberal.
Yeah, all that stuff. And her name is God is Gray. Why do I watch all this stuff? I know nothing about. I also know nothing about religion. So I'm like, okay. And so she's also great. So I think it might be great to watch and consume content from someone who's in your position, and then also someone who is religious, because if your parents are still religious, there might be some like
for sure
feeling that, and then from someone who is religious but also a feminist and very pro-sex, pro-choice, all of that sort of stuff. So I think that might be like some good empowering stuff to feel like reassured.
Absolutely. And I think just the circles that you involve yourself in too, for sure, like having friends that will support that definitely helps, because if you have friends that are supporting the old school of thought, then you're for sure going to feel guilty and you can't open and you're going to be lying. And then so getting motivation and inspiration from your friends and just the immediate circle that you keep, and then just being completely open with your partner, I think helps a lot. Communication is key, and I feel like if you can voice it when it's happening too, like if it's during sex and saying like, wow, I feel kind of uncomfortable. Yeah, it might kill the mood in the beginning, but after a while, it's like he's going to help you get through it and you're not alone.
Yeah, and you can like learn those cues and triggers, and if certain things make you feel more uncomfortable, or if you're feeling like, I'm feeling really confident and I like want to go for it like right now and that kind of stuff. I think the more he knows and is involved in that, I think the better he can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would tell my mom too, because she grew up with that school of thought too. And for her, even me moving out was like, oh, you only want to move out because you want to have sex, huh? And I'm like, what the hell? Like, no, because I want to be independent and I want to do my own shit. Not to put any like shade on my mom, like she's the best. But I would give her the analogy of like, yeah, I want to have sex because like, you know, you want to, like when you buy a car, like that's a big purchase. Like you're not just going to drive off the lot and be like, well, I hope this works.
Yep.
You're just like, well, let me test it out. Let me drive it a little bit and see if it's my fit. And if it's not, then I get to another car.
Exactly.
That's okay.
Rent a car. I'm all about it. Well, best of luck. I have so much faith in you. And also, if you're not a part of our Facebook group, you totally should, because I feel like there's a lot of people who would also relate to this.
It sounds really nice in there.
Yeah, it is. It's a good time.
Yeah,
it is a good time.
Make sure you answer all the questions.
And correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be dumb. And then if you're dumb, you're out.
Oh,
you're
then
getting
I'm out.
declined.
Damn it.
Yeah. No, you won't be.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Should we go on to the next?
Okay. So I'm in college right now, and that sounds lame. I've been dating my boyfriend for about a year and a half now. And I'm not going to be living on campus next year. Like, I'm going to get an apartment off campus. And my boyfriend is also looking for a new apartment. And so, like, I just suggested casually that, like, what if we moved in together and, like split a 3-bedroom apartment 4 ways, like, you know. And I brought it up casually, and he was, like, vehemently against it. Like, really not okay with it. Well, like, not okay, but he was like, I don't want to talk about that right now. I don't want to put ourselves in a situation where if something goes to shit, you know, we're, like, stuck in the lease together. I really don't want to talk about it right now. There's no point in talking about it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I get that, like, obviously there's a risk anytime you move in together, but I can't tell if I'm just being, like, the crazy girlfriend that's upset that he's not, like, immediately on board to move in with me, or if, like, this is some kind of, like, red flag, like, he expects something to go wrong or something like that. I could totally be, like, just being a girl and being insane and upset that he doesn't want to live with me.
Ooh. Yeah. Here's the thing. You're not, you being crazy has nothing to do with you being a girl.
Thank you. I caught that too. I'm like, whoa.
And it's not like, oh, I'm a crazy girlfriend. I just think you happen to be a woman and you happen to be being a little crazy. Like you're being like it's a lot. And I think, and we were saying this while the call was happening, I just am point blank gonna say it. If I offend you, I offend you. I fucking hate couples who live together in college.
Why?
I just think it cuts you off from everyone. Like I was in a sorority for a year.
Because you're assuming that they're spending time together the whole time.
Yeah, and anytime I met a girl who was like, I went to school with her or whatever for, again, the 2 years I was there. And by 2 years, I mean year and a couple of months. Okay. And they, from freshman year to sophomore year, some people moved in with their, never once saw them. Never, ever, ever once saw them.
They're boning the whole time.
The whole time. And then also a huge amount of the time, they do end up breaking up.
Yeah.
And they are the only ones each other has. Like, that's literally it. It becomes already dating in college. Like, so fun. That's great. But it's the same thing as like when you go in with a high school boyfriend or a long distance relationship, it changes how you interact with people at school. And if you're going to live with your significant other, you become so unrelatable to your peers. No one really wants to hang out.
But what if you don't relate to anyone? What if you're like,
then go to community college. Like, go, like, don't even live near, like, don't even be involved then. That's the part that I don't, like, I just don't think is, I don't know. And I think he's being incredibly smart.
Yeah, he is.
And, like, I don't think it's like, oh, wow, he thinks something's going to go wrong. Right. It's like, well, to be honest, if we want to get statistically, yeah, it's more likely that this relationship is going to end in a breakup than it is going to be in marriage. And also, like for him, it's the first time he's also being independent. And if he's already had an apartment and lived with friends, I'm sure he wants to keep having an apartment and like living with his friends and having a girlfriend and having it be fun. But moving in together is playing house. Yeah. Like you're playing, and it's totally valid and fine if you don't want to play house, regardless of the age that you're at, but also like a year into a relationship. Like if you're like 20, 21, 22 and you're like, yeah, I don't really want to do that right now. I still want to have these like 4 years of fun. And the only time I'm going to be like living with like 16 guys and doing keg stands and all of that, like it's an experience, but I don't think it has any indication of what he feels about you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I think this comes for sure from a place of insecurity because like I can relate to her at her age.
Yeah.
Because I was just under such house arrest that for me, any type of freedom, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go crazy. However, I still wanted, because I don't know, I just felt like I needed to be by a guy.
Yeah.
Like I needed that comfort to be with a guy. And then once I fell for a guy, then I was so head over heels that I'm like, I want to do everything with this dude.
It's the ultimate validation.
Right.
Like being validated by a guy that you like is so much, it's everything.
Yeah. So I didn't care if I had girlfriends. I didn't care about any of that. And then I was like, well, if we break up, then, then we'll do our whatever thing. Like, it's going to be complicated and messy, but I'll do that. But trying to put myself in her shoes, I get where she's coming from. And for sure, it's 100% insecurity. But to kind of flip the perspective for you, I didn't catch your name, but
we don't do names.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. To flip it on you, it's like, well, what if you want to go out with your girlfriends? Like, you would have to kind of ask for permission. Like, it's not like, can I go out? But it's going to be one of those, hey, me and the girls are going to do whatever. And it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like having a second daddy that you kind of have to check in with. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, and I think moving in with a significant other is a huge life step, and in every aspect of college is a huge life step too. And it's combining these two things that really, like, that's so much pressure on both of you. It's so much pressure on your relationship. Yeah. You already have your schoolwork to focus on. You have a relationship to focus on. You have your housing to focus on. And then you're going to combine all of those things together. And it's just putting so much pressure on all of that. And I think that can be really hard, especially at this crucial time of growing up. Yeah. And you need to grow up independently to like end up in a really healthy relationship. And I think it's not like he wants to break up. It's not like he's trying to break up with you.
It doesn't sound that way.
No, it sounds like he really likes you, but it's let's take your time at each stop. And also, I think as exciting as it is to have a boyfriend, and regardless of how much time you spend with them and all of that, it can be kind of fun to like go home to your own place and like text him, and then you can still spend the night with each other all the time. Right. There's no reason not to. And as somebody who I moved in, we always talk about this, the same thing. We don't even think you should live with like friends because it can really fuck up your relationship.
Sure.
And so like, and I think about in college, I moved in with girls who I really thought were like my best friends in college, and it was so terrible. That was the reason why I dropped out. And so if I think about it in the sense of relationships, it's already hard enough to get along with roommates and live with your friends, to then put that pressure on a boyfriend. It just there's just so many expectations, and there's these chores and all of this stuff, and you guys are just learning how to be independent. I think it's not a great way to become. I think that will just teach you how to be codependent. I don't think it'll teach you how to be independent without him. Yeah. And he's aware of that. And so I think if you guys were both gung ho and all for it, and you didn't want to have other friends and it was fine, then for sure go do your own thing. But I don't think this is you being crazy. I think this is you being really excited and kind of not being as like logical and rational as he is.
Yeah.
Which is, it's not like a knock on you or anything like that, but I think I'm so glad that you have him to be like, hey, I don't think we should do that. And if he hurt your feelings with how he responded, like if in your mind there was a nice way for him to say no, I think figure that out. Or if it just hurt your feelings because he doesn't want to. Yeah. So I think if he did hurt your feelings by he said it, you could say like, hey, you know what? I really respect that. Like, you don't want to do this, and that's totally fine. And I get it. But kind of how you said it just made me feel like you don't see a future with us at all, and I don't want to waste my time. But if it was just that he was like, no, I don't really think that's a good idea, then yeah, figure that out on your own.
That's really good advice. That's really nice.
Well,
I like the way you said that.
I also just want to look out for you and and I also think about her friends. Like, her poor friends would be like, don't move in with your fucking boyfriend.
Yeah.
Hang out with us.
Yeah.
Like, who are you going to get ready with things for? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to sit on the floor and do your makeup. Like, that is a crucial part of college.
Absolutely. And boys are messy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They smell kind of funny.
And like but that age, you're still pretty used to like college, you're not really actually functioning as an adult, so you really don't even know how to clean up yet. Like, and you're gonna have to sleep on like gross sheet. No.
Having 2 separate spaces is cool. I think that's great advice. I mean, you guys can sleep over and hang out the whole time, but I never felt like he was like, I'm trying to do my own side shit without you.
No, I don't think that's what it is at all. But hold your horses. Slow down. Yeah. It'll happen when it's later on.
You know, when you're in that age, you're just like, nothing else is going to happen. The time is
also,
now.
Also, he sounds like he's older than her. And my freshman year, the guy that I was dating freshman year, he was older than me. And if he was, I didn't ever think about moving in together, but like, let's just say that like it became a possibility. I would be like, oh my God, like I'm such an adult, like not making fun of you in that sense, but that was that feeling of being like, oh my God, I have this intense validation. I got picked by this guy who's like, he's a junior. He's so much older than me. He's like, cool, I'm popular. And like, I'm the shit. Like, and then I would just want to skip all of the steps and kind of play house, but it's not necessarily healthy. And also we broke up. So I'm really fucking glad we never did anything like that.
Good call.
Oh yeah. It was a bad time. Well, best of luck. And you've got this. Let us know what happens. On to the next one.
What's up, little fuckers? I am 26 years old and feel like I'm living a high school nightmare right now. My live-in boyfriend, he broke up with his ex 3 months before we started dating, and they only dated for 5 months. And she's around all the time. The females in his friend group are like best friends with her, but also talk mad shit about her to me all the time. And I told them, I was like, hey, I don't feel super comfortable with you sharing such like personal details about this girl's life, and also I don't want this to be a topic of conversation because I don't want to fucking talk about someone else as a form of entertainment. And they didn't take that super well. So now every time she's around, they're always like, hey, so-and-so's going to be there. Really sorry, but there's nothing we can do about it. She's not going anywhere. Or she'll get there before me or after me. But recently, she's been around more, and she comes into parties and bars like hot. She comes in hot, peeing is like a circle around his friends, really loud, like really lovey, very much like marking her territory, like, these are my best friends. And I'm just kind of like, I try talking to her. She ignores me. She just makes it so uncomfortable. And my boyfriend picked up on that, and he's like, hey, we don't have to hang out with them. We can do different things, or like, we just won't be there when she's there. But it all just feels really childish to me. And when I told him I'd just text her, or not text her, DM her and be like, let's just grab a drink, and I'm not going anywhere, that's for sure. And it seems like these people really want you around despite them not being super great friends. So we might as well like squash things, but he told me not to do that. My friends told me not to do that. And I don't know what to do. I live, like, my family, people, got divorced. Like, an uncle I grew up with my whole life, it's like, oh, I guess not going to see freaking, I don't know, Uncle Bob anymore. So it's just strange to me that they're like so holding on to this person. And I don't know, I just feel so weird and I need some help. I don't know what to do. Like, what's going on? I don't know. It's all very strange. And I talked to his friends about it, and they're like, oh, but we love her. We love her. But she's lived here her whole life, and she didn't know you guys before y'all started dating, so find new friends,
I mean, to be honest, I don't really know there's anything she can do.
I mean, I think everything she's doing was fine. Like, trying to, like, talk to her, I think that was really mature of her. Like, she didn't have to do that. Yeah. She could have just kind of focused on her man and then just kind of been cordial. And then, once they're gone, then it's just her and her man. But her going above and beyond, for me, that's a huge step. I think that's very mature.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what I would tell her to do. I think what her dude did was pretty cool of like, well, we don't have to hang out. That was very comforting. And I would feel like, wow, thank you for like choosing our relationship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's tough because they sound like they're fake friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They sound very fake.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be friends with them.
I was going to say,
they're talking behind her back.
Absolutely.
And then reporting it back on the other side. So they're probably doing the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I would keep that in mind and have that be like, oh, cool. I'm so glad that I got to hear this because now I'm not necessarily going to trust that much. The issue is you just can't control anyone else but you.
Right.
And I am not going to call this other girl a Leo or a Scorpio, but I think she might be. And like, I could totally see that. And as a Leo, I completely I could see that. And the thing is if you want to, like, you both have to want to squash it. Doesn't sound like she wants to squash it.
Right.
So if you're going to keep trying and being like, I want to be over this. This is so dumb. That totally makes sense. But unless she also wants to be there,
it's not going to stop.
It's not going to work. And you're investing all of this time and energy to kind of like, like have something go away or solve something that someone else isn't even like, she just wants to be pissed at you.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I think like I think it's fine if you want to reach out to her and like get drinks and talk about it. But I think she's pretty clearly shown you that I don't think she's trying to squash anything or trying to go away, like deal with anything like that. And she also just might not like you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And you just have to like, I don't want it to sound bitchy, but like, yeah, you just kind of have to accept it and stop trying to get her to do something or be somebody that she's not.
Right.
And I think that will be really liberating for you. But yeah, you can't really control who they're friends with. And sure, logistically, does it make sense that she was only like in there for 5 months and all of that stuff? And maybe she became better friends with the people, like the friend group, than their relationship was. Like maybe those friendships escalated and got more serious than the relationship did, which totally happens. I know friends who like still friends with like exes, has broken up, and like that whole circle has still kind of maintained what it is. But I think you just need to figure out what it is that, are you going to be okay? Like, can you just let her dislike you?
Yeah, I think she's going to have to. So when I was saying that it was very mature of her to reach out, I think that was the best thing you could have done. And like you mentioned, she clearly stated her position. She's not going anywhere. And it just shows you like her mental state. Like she's just kind of very mature to be like, well, I'm here. Like I'm coming in hot. Everyone look at me. That just shows her maturity level. If I were you, I would just have a good time with my man, support him. Just know that those are his friends. They're not your friends. And you just keep it cordial. You're the good girlfriend, and you just support your man with that. Don't open up and try to be like the best of friends, because you already see what type of quality of people they are. Just keep it fun. Just know that she's showing off because from what I'm getting, she's kind of intimidated, and she's just like, damn it. Like, I need to show him that like he lost a good thing when he's just like not even into it. So you've already won the battle, girl.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think this is the outcome that it is. I don't think there's anything that's going to change from us. I don't see her going away, and I don't see her and you kind of squashing the beef and like being nice to each other. And I don't see any of that happening. I think everybody's kind of shown their cards of who they are. His friends, his female friends have shown who they are. Your boyfriend has shown who he is, which is really great and really nice about this. And then she's shown who she is. And I think right now you're the most mature person. You and your boyfriend are the most mature ones in the situation. You're trying to get people on your level, and they're not going to get there. And there's something, as someone who I very much have been in the position of like trying to get someone to like me really bad. And then finally when you just like, fuck this. Why am I trying to do this? Because I'm putting all of this effort in, and it's like I'm waiting on you, and you're like we're at a restaurant and I'm your server, and I just keep coming to you, and you're sitting there being like, sure,
and you said it.
Me,
you're not on the same level.
No. And then when you finally just stop that, it's like, oh wow, I can be myself now. Now I can be myself in this group of people. I'm not worried about it. I don't really give a shit. Like I'm not thinking about you because there's nothing I can do to change you, and that's fine. And it's not a threat to your relationship at all. Yeah. And so these people and these friends, and I think I would like with your boyfriend, I would definitely. I don't think you need to hang out with these people as a group that much. Also because regardless of the girlfriend, these friends are shitty too. So like, listen with him and be like, okay, cool, let's do our own thing, or let's hang out with our other friends, or go do this stuff. And then on the occasion that there is something fun and it's an activity that we want to do, or it's someone's birthday and there's an actual reason, but let's not turn to them for all of our social activities because it's not a fun place.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to have a good time, and he's going to feel bad because you're not having a good time, and it's, I wouldn't spend as much time with them.
Yeah, and because they're both mature, like he'll come around. It sounds like if you just stay positive and you just know what you bring to the table, and just know they're not your type of people. He might even start feeling it and going like, wow, these people are actually kind of shitty. I prefer those people over there.
Yeah. And you guys live together. Do that whole thing. Invite other couples if you're friends with to hang out and all of that stuff. But yeah, God. Or also you could just stoop to her level and be a massive bitch to her too.
Yeah, and just get really fucking hot, pull your titties out.
Oh, no, that is my...
Start making out with him.
Anytime someone like comes in hot trying to be a bitch, I go, oh, okay, I see you, me too. I see this and I raise you one more.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. So you can do that too, but I don't think that sounds
it's
like your
tiring.
Oh, 100%.
That's how I'm old. I'm
yeah.
like, fuck, I'm tired of just hearing that.
No, I'm the kind of person where I'm like, let me throw on some thigh-high boots, let me tower above these tiny bitches, and I will crush you.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you sound way more mature.
Yeah.
And I sound like the ex-girlfriend.
But you sound like a lot of fun. And then I would, if I was that girl and you're the ex-girlfriend, I'd be like, wow, you look really hot. And I'd walk away and you're like, fucking bitch.
And that's the stuff that you're like, oh my gosh, you look so great. And also, you're so fucking fake nice to her. She doesn't even need to know that it's fake.
Yeah.
And you can just be so nice. And then everyone's like, oh my God, she's being so nice
I
to you.
know.
Why? And then she's talking so much shit about you. I was like, but she's so nice to you.
Be petty as fuck. Yeah. Like, oh my God, I love those boots. Where'd you get them from? Oh my God, your body looks so hot.
Yeah, she's like,
yeah, she's like, fuck, what do I say now?
Literally
she's on my team.
Yep. It's like Hannah Ann on The Bachelor, if anyone's watching. No one's watching. Is that me? It's cool. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, best of luck with this. Let us know what happens. And if you happen to know her birthday, please let me know. Because
That's
I'm
funny.
curious.
Leo
I feel like it's a
Scorpio.
Leo or a Scorpio. Like there's a lot of like revenge in there. Okay, guys, it's time for a quick break, and we'll be back with the rest of the calls. Okay, guys, we are back from our break, and it's time for the rest of our calls.
Hey, Megan. Okay, so I am 22, and I just have, like, a weird dating question. So I'm a middle school teacher. I love my job. I love working with kids. You know, I've always wanted to teach, and now I finally get to do it. But as a young, single teacher, it's hard to find, like, a dating pool. When I put I'm a teacher on, like, Bumble or Tinder, like, dating apps, it's, like, totally fetishized. I don't know how to say that word right, but it's, like, guys messaging me, like, wanting to fulfill that, like, teacher fantasy they had as kids, and it totally weirds me out. So then I take it off, and then it's, like, they eventually find out anyway, like the weirdos do. And so I don't know, and there's this weird thing of, like, my friends being like, we'll just date a single dad. Well, I'm 22. I'm not out here trying to, like, have this, like, I don't know. I do want to get married someday and, like, have kids and do the whole house thing. But I don't know a good way to find a dating pool that's, like, I've always dated boys a little older than me. So my age or older, but also who are just, like, normal and, like, sane people. Because I do work, like, a Monday through Friday. Like, I get up at 6 a.m. and I get home around 4:35, depending how good the day is. So, just any advice on just how to find, like, a sane single dating pool. I live in the South, so I guess trying not to date someone crazy Republican is also makes the pool smaller. So, thank you. I love the podcast. Bye.
To find someone who's not a Republican, who's also probably not racist, and a feminist, and doesn't have a teacher fantasy. Wow, that is so weird to me. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a total, like, fantasy for a lot of people, but just, like, the fucking balls on these dudes to just be like, yo, like,
you've gotten those DMs. Stop it.
No, I have. I told you I don't have male fans really.
Oh, fuck.
No, I'll get, like, marriage offers for, like, sheeps. Like, I'll give you 15 sheeps if you marry me. And I'm like,
hey, you get sheep. No, I get, like, send me pictures of your feet. I'll buy some of your socks.
We're so into the feet.
I want to.
You're into it. What does
we
that mean?
We
want to sell. I want to get that coin.
You want me to forward them, please?
Honestly, please.
Okay,
not even kidding.
Yeah, I've gotten guys, like, take pictures of their butt, and then they stick something in their ass. It has my name on their ass, and they're like, I did this for you. I'm like,
I'm so jealous.
No, you're not. It's
no, I am.
creepy. It's
I am.
creepy.
No.
I mean, I'm not that creeped out, but I'm just, it's amusing.
I love that.
It's amusing. Yeah. I don't know, I haven't been on, like, Tinder, but, like, I've been with my husband for 11 years now. So I've missed that whole thing. So I don't know what the dating world is like.
I mean,
isn't that weird?
I mean, it's just like you have more opportunities and more people. So by result, you're going to have more creeps than you will like just in an everyday basis because the pool's bigger. So let's say you're going out of like there's 100 guys and 50 are creepy. You have the same odds. Like if you do like there's 5 and 10, but I think if you're getting like 50 creepy dudes, you're like, holy shit, this is a lot. But I think that's the whole thing. It's like everybody is on a dating app. So it's the people that you're not necessarily going to come across with in everyday life, which is great and also negative. Like, yeah, if I'm on a dating in my everyday life, I do not come across any racist Republicans at all. But if I get on a dating app,
you do.
I might because like that's not my circle. Those aren't the people that I surround myself with. Those aren't any of that stuff. So at the same time, it's great if I in my everyday life haven't met somebody, and so I'm like, okay, I need to expand. So a dating app can help you expand in that. But yeah, you're gonna have to sift through a lot more people who really aren't necessarily like-minded. And I think you just need, I don't know what your profile looks like.
What if her profile picture is like her in a little mini skirt?
Holding a ruler.
I was going to say, if your profile picture is, if your whole profile is like hella fucking sexy, and then
like
in
the
your bio
ABCs.
says, I'm a teacher.
But like the
I
sexy
just
might
love-
be for people that have that fetish like in a like cardigan.
Yes, that's what I mean.
True.
Like, I think like, I would really steer clear of like any of your images and stuff. Like I just think like your profession, teacher, but if anything, if those messages discourage you of getting those, because I think you're going to get them if you say you're a teacher because you already are getting them. And if that makes you feel gross and weird, then take that out of your bio. Don't say what you do.
She said she did,
yeah.
but they still figure it out.
Then you're dating. Then why are you going out with weird dudes?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think that I don't, maybe you're not vetting them enough beforehand and having conversations. And let's also narrow it down to like, if a guy immediately is messaging you being like that second pic is so sexy, cut him off.
The wrong approach.
Yeah, so I think
he just wants the booty.
Yeah, I think there might be some other ways you can read into them before they come out, because I think it's, again, I don't want to like place myself on a pedestal, but like I could never imagine myself going on a date with someone who would say something like that, because I would vet them so hardcore before that you would kind of know their personality and how they talk to you. And unless it just completely comes out of left field, in which case leave the fucking date and try again. Yeah. But I think that's so not the majority, that I think you just happen to be picking and going on dates with guys who are like that. And I think you just need to do some more vetting. Maybe that's texting them more before the date. It's any of that stuff. And maybe it's you're only going to message guys or continue messaging them who don't mention anything about like your looks or your picture. And they talk about like the prompts that you have and all of that stuff. But yeah, I think that's so wild.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. There's this, I don't know if you know her, Shannon Boudreaux. She's like a sex
she's
expert.
been on here.
Oh god, I love her so much. Yeah. But she did a whole video like how to like up your profile, make it look like it's best. You can do that. Me, I'm a little bit more old school, and like I was saying, I kind of missed that whole boat of the dating apps. So what I like, if I, heaven forbid, like were to break up with my husband, then I would probably go and do activities. Yeah. I would go do activities. I would go to the gym. I'd go rock climbing. I'd go hiking and find different groups that, do that. And then I feel like I would naturally just kind of click with people.
Mm-hmm.
And then through that, that's kind of like a dating app where you're opening up that pool of people that you surround yourself with. And then you already have someone that's kind of like-minded and you get to see them interact. So that's like an alternative to it. But yeah, everything you said, I think is really, really good.
Maybe you should date a teacher.
That's what I was going to say. If you live like close to a college or university, somebody that's like studying, because like a male teacher, it's kind of hard to find like in the like elementary school, middle school. It's kind of hard. But if it's like somebody studying to be a professor or something.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with you being a teacher. I think it's the vetting.
Yeah,
like
I think it's the dudes. I think it's the dudes that you're talking to, and I think them having a teacher fetish is probably the least of their gross qualities.
What are your like?
And I don't think it's a gross quality. I just mean like to bring up on like a first date to a teacher. Yeah. Also, like know your audience.
What are some of like if we're having like I'm a guy, we're having an exchange. What are the red flags for you? The first one you said was, "Wow, that picture of yours is so
something
hot."
About a picture. I mean, so I would say something about a picture. Any use of like tongue out emojis or any sort of immediate nicknames.
The eggplant
like
is probably bad. Okay.
Yeah, or like
nicknames,
baby
good.
girl,
Yes.
like babe. Any of that stuff is just it's a lot. Or anything that feels really like I don't even want to say necessarily like a line, but it feels, it sounds kind of like a movie, or it sounds like this really sweet, too good to be true. I always am like, I wouldn't say that to someone I don't know, because I don't want to give them the wrong idea. Like, I don't want to come across like come on really strong. And any guys who do that, I'm like, you're doing that to everybody because you're just trying to like get in the pants. And any guy who just, and it's also the lack of interest of anything other than just trying to meet up. So if someone like is actually interested in like asking me some questions or being funny, so for like the number one thing I say is the back and forth kind of banter. So anytime I was like continue on messaging someone, is if I would always say, so if it was like Bumble and it's girls talk first, I would say, so I would make a joke relating to either one of their pictures or one of like the little like text prompt sort of stuff, but it was never like hot or sexy or like cute dog, like none of that fucking shit. It would be something smart and like quippy and funny, and then from there, if they responded to that with like a hubba hubba, no, but if they responded with the same like I can be snarky and like funny too, then from there I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I would always go like humor first and connect on that before anything else, because also at the end of the day, we both swiped right because we thought each other was attractive. We don't need to kind of harp on that and reiterate that, because that to me is like, oh yeah, you just want to fuck. Like, I get that. Like, now I'm trying to see, obviously I want to fuck you. I saw what you look like. Now let's kind of have that like personality talk get along with. And yeah, anything just corny, any corny cheesy stuff, you're out, because you know that's you're lying. I hate to say, I mean, I don't hate to say this because the name of my book, but you're not that special, like, which sounds super fucking harsh, but if a guy is talking to you in the first 5 minutes is coming on so fucking strong, there is that sense of validation and being like, oh my gosh, like, I'm special. This is what everyone says. Date someone who makes you feel special. He doesn't know you. He doesn't know that you're special yet. So he's saying this to everybody. Yeah. And that's kind of like a icky sort of thing.
Do certain apps do certain things? Like you were saying Bumble, the girl talks first.
Yeah, girl talks first on Bumble. Hinge, a huge part of it is like Facebook, like friends of friends and that kind of stuff. And then Tinder tends to usually be a bit more of like the straight people hookup app. Grindr is more of like gay hookup app. And then as far as my gay friends know, talk to me about it. Then Tinder is like a more dating for gay guys. So if you're a gay guy on Tinder, you're more likely to want to date than if you're just like Grindrs, you're just trying to hook up. And then there's like a bunch of other ones, like if you're Jewish, like J-Swipe, J-Date, there's Coffee Meets Bagel, all of those different things. But I think the best way to go about dating apps is to download as many as you can and continue on with that. And I think there's also something great that happens with that, which is actually how a couple of my friends have gotten with their boyfriends, is they've matched on multiple apps. And then it's like, cute. Oh, okay, cool. And then it's like, haha, like we totally matched on this other one and I'm messaging you here and that kind of stuff. And then I think that's also a way you can see if someone, I don't know, I think it tends to cross-reference like people's profiles and see if they're putting different stuff on different ones, if it's just sounds a little sus and a little weird. But I think dating apps are a really great, fantastic thing. I think it's just about learning how to use them, and the same way that I don't want to compare it to acting, because not as necessarily, if the more times you put yourself out there, the more times you're going to get rejected. And so if you have all of these people, you're going to have to work a little bit harder and you're going to have to deal with a lot more rejection, just because there's more people and there's more opportunity. And that doesn't mean that it's like, oh, wow, this is so bad. Like, I think you're more likely to get rejected so many more times on a dating app than you are in real life. But also you have so many more opportunities for something on a dating app than you might have in real life.
And the amount that you're learning and you're adjusting, you're like, okay, I know I really don't want that. Like, now you know, if a guy comes at you with a teacher fetish, you know for a fact that you don't like that shit. So that's awesome. Like, use all that data. Yeah. And then also, if you're not conservative, like how I would rule out on dating apps is the first thing I look at is not even what they look like. The first thing I look at is their political affiliation. And if they're conservative, left. Conservative, left. If they're what's the moderate, left. If they're anything other, if they're like not like apolitical, left. So I was only swiping right on people who are liberal. And then for me, that also does okay, cool, so I'm only swiping right on liberal. I don't have to worry about, I most likely don't have to worry about you being racist. I don't it's not a high risk of you being a complete misogynistic, sexist ass. Like, there is those things. It might still totally happen, but I'm kind of making that pool a little bit smaller, and then from there, like, whittling it down to the rest of that stuff. But I think you just need to I just swipe as much as possible. The more opportunity, the more chances. And then if you ever need help, like, show the profile to your friends, show the messages to your friends, and they can be like, yeah, no. Yeah, the real friends. The ones that tell you the fucking truth.
Yeah, not the ones who are like, well, my cousin's sister's friend actually dated this guy and like he had a fetish, like a teacher fetish, but like they totally went away and they're fine and happy now.
Yeah,
and you're like, that didn't
get rid
happen.
of that one.
Not the exception to the rule. He's just not that into you. It really taught none of us anything. Like, come on. Yeah. Fantastic movie.
What I'm sorry for trying to move on, but what about like Instagram DMing? Is that bad? Is that too thirsty?
I mean, it more likely than not, like, the DMs you're getting are like subs.
Well, mine are weird.
Yeah, but I don't know anyone who gets. I mean, I think if it's a friend of a friend and something like that, I could see that sort of happening. Okay. But I don't know. I think
dating app is still easier.
Yeah, just because you both know what you are looking for. Okay. And I also think that's a lot of the time, I think when two people see each other on a dating app, it's also confirmation that like, hey, hopefully I'm single and like I'm looking for a relationship. And I think the balls it takes to DM someone like point blank, you don't really know what they're and it's like, I'm so fucking confident. I'm just going to slide into your fucking DMs and you're going to want to date me. And do you know what I mean? Like it does kind of feel like it's just a little bit different. You're not really on the same playing field, but I think it could work. But I mean, isn't that how Sarah Hyland and that guy from The Bachelor, Wells, I think that's how they started dating.
Oh, so it can happen.
I think it can. Yeah.
Options. Okay.
Well, let us know how it goes if you revamp your profile, all of that sort of stuff. And I hope you find. I have a lot of faith that you're going to find a guy who's
absolutely
not conservative, who's not a racist, and who's not a piece of shit, and who also isn't just trying to get you to spank him with a ruler.
It does sound fun though.
It does. Yeah. Bent over a desk.
No, and that's like why I totally get that fantasy. But I also just think that like if you're going out with a teacher, the fucking audacity to be like, yo, I got that fantasy, and being like, of course,
no.
of all people,
I would
she
never,
doesn't.
That's the thing is like I would never like want to do it with an actual
That's
teacher.
what I mean.
It would
that's
be
the part
in a role playing type thing.
Yeah, that's the part that's like so fucking weird.
She should do it. Go out and then rate them. And be like, you get a fucking F.
Yeah.
Out of here. Just completely own
failed.
It. Yeah.
Wow. That's just gross. The audacity of some of these men. Now it's time for an update.
Yeah, and this one is from our most controversial episode.
Oh shit.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Is it about porn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay.
Hey there, Megan. I was featured on an episode with Taylor back in like June of 2018, and I was just listening to the podcast again and thought, I should update everybody. I was talking about like the traumatic experience of figuring out, I guess, like how my boyfriend experiences his sexuality with porn. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you an update. I'm now almost 23, much older, much wiser. We're actually just got engaged. And we love porn and we love sex and we also love Jesus, and that's totally okay. Yeah, I just thought I would update you. I think I definitely needed that hard, honest truth for a hot second there. I think that I just didn't really have any role models or anybody to be able to go to ask about this, because I think that unfortunately in a lot of the circles I used to hang out in, it was a pretty taboo topic. But honestly, like ever since that summer, I definitely made part of my goal and my vibe to reach out and make sure that I'm having conversations with my friends that talk about sexuality and intimacy with our partners, so that it's not something that we're scared to talk about. Anyways, yes, thanks for giving me the advice all of those years ago, because I don't know if we would be engaged and getting married and still be together if it wasn't for that. So yeah, in this reflective period in time in my life, I just had to say thanks. So anyways, still love listening to the podcast. Don't worry, you didn't make me hate it because you were being harsh and honest. I needed it. Thanks so much, Megan. Bye.
Holy shit.
Good for both of you.
I want this on my fucking gravestone.
Yeah.
We got so much flack
shit from that.
So much shit.
Can I get like a 5-second update?
I'm pretty sure it was she had found out her boyfriend was watching porn and she was like really angry, and it was about like sex addiction and how this was like really bad, and it was just she was very, very anti it. and both the guest and all of it, we were very much
Pro
all of that stuff, and how there's really nothing wrong with it, and all of that. And we got so much flack from the audience being like, porn is disgusting. If my boyfriend or my husband would never watch porn.
They're for sure watching it.
I know. And that was the whole thing, that we were like, everyone does. And also, and personally, I don't watch porn. I'm not into porn. But I also know that I am an anomaly, because I don't even like watching people kissing on TV. And I think that's because
I get why.
as an actor, I watch and I'm like, oh God, like I have this like secondhand feeling of like, I can't stay in it because I know the logistics of it. Like, and I've like, you know, there's like bad and good, like, I mean, there's like fine and then bad experiences when it comes to like intimacy stuff on camera. And I don't find it sexy because I just think about logistics, but that's because I've been in I'm not porn, but like the logistics of it all of like, you know, scripted. But
porn can be scripted.
It's for sure scripted.
No, yeah. But I mean, like in like, there's no like actual real like sex and anything like that. But that there's so nothing wrong with it. But we got so much flack from the audience and so many people who are just so completely. I don't think we got many comments on our side at all, if any.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
But this was a while ago.
Yeah.
And I think that since then we've weeded out a lot of those people that were closed-minded. And our age bracket has also increased too for the audience.
Well, and I think this makes so much sense. And that's like this. I'm so glad you called into update, because like we never want to be like ageist on the show, but there is this like crucial time period of your early 20s of like learning and figuring stuff out, or in any period of your time of your life. Like there is those kind of like those sections. Like I think about the time that you go from like the beginning of middle school to your freshman year of high school. I started middle school being like, I'm never gonna swear, and then high school I was like, I can't wait to like make out with bull. Like I
can't wait to suck a dick.
Yeah, like you have these like really fast like growing up, like hormone changes and all of that sort of stuff, and the first time that you are kind of out on your own and forming your own opinions and experiencing your first long-term intense relationship and all that, there's a whole learning curve that comes through
Absolutely,
that.
dude.
And we all start with one mindset, and it
your parents' mindset.
And it completely can change once we get older. And I think it's like fantastic to acknowledge that. And I'm so glad that this has been something that you haven't had to give up your faith or any of that sort of stuff, and that this has been like you and your friends now talk about sex.
I think she said she gave up Jesus.
No, she said
she
loves
Jesus.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
okay.
She has sex. She watches porn.
Okay,
She still loves Jesus.
Okay, my bad.
And she also must love Hannah Brown from the previous season of The Bachelor, because her famous quote last season was, "I've had sex and Jesus still loves me."
Yes.
Like, yeah, bitch, get
That's
it.
beautiful.
But I think this is great. Congratulations on your engagement. And I just want to I want to respond to every comment on the video of the first episode where we talked about this. I just want to link this again and again and again.
Yeah.
And it also just makes me happy, because sometimes people like listeners, or not even listeners, hate it, like they'll come at us for being too harsh and being mean, and it's so nice to hear that sometimes we need tough love. And it's a little bit harder, I know, when you're not the person receiving the tough love, that you're like, oh, this seems like that would hurt my feelings, right? But it's nice to know that I like tough took love. It in.
Yeah, you have to go like, listen here, bitch. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, you really care about me. Because if someone's like, no, but wait, I'm like, why are you sugarcoating shit for me? Like, you're lying to me right now. So I'm that person you're talking to.
And in real life, like with my everyday friend, this podcast, I'm like, you all know that I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But with my friends in like everyday life, I'm like, which Megan do you want? Like, do you want me to just be supportive of whatever you want to do, or do you want my opinion?
Oh, that's very nice.
And like, I'll give you the options. And then one of my best friend will be like, yeah, no, I just like need you to encourage me. I was like, yeah, sure, go fuck that guy who like sucks and you hate, go for it.
I love
have
it. You
fun,
still had to
have a
put
good
it
time.
in there.
Yeah. And so I think like, I don't know, it just makes me happy when the tough love, it does work. I think it's a positive thing, because it means you care, like you said.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is so great. That makes me so happy. Me 2020. Fuck yes. I'm so proud.
Your year, girl.
It better fucking be. Well, guys, that is it for our episode.
Another
what?
One. The Don't Blame Them Now.
Oh my God. We have Don't Blame Them Now.
Are you trying to get rid of me?
No, I didn't.
We're in like a different transitional period.
Okay. I didn't know we were going to do both.
Yeah, we're doing both.
We're doing both.
I'm ready. Let's keep going. Let's do another hour.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So this is when listeners will call in with their own advice. So if they've been through something similar, they'll give their own advice.
How fun.
So this is somebody calling that they are updating or sharing their advice about nicknames and not being called something from like a babe from like some because your ex called you the same type of thing.
I like that.
Hi guys, I'm calling in to share a similar experience to a girl that was in the most recent episode with Adrian Paul, the Christmas one. It was a girl that said that she was kind of triggered when her new boyfriend called her babe. I was so surprised someone else has had the same experience as me. I think this was early in 2018, so early last year. There was a guy I was kind of talking to. He was like the love of my life. Also, we were like high school and part of college, and then he like finally told me he loved me, and he'd always call me babe, and it was great. So he was the guy that called me babe, and then it kind of like ended abruptly, and like I was like crushed. Like it was crazy. It was like he told me he loved me 1 week, and then like 2 weeks after that, he just like stopped talking to me. Right after that, I got into a friends with benefits relationship, and the guy would always call me babe, and I hated it so much because it just reminded me of the previous dude. So I just came out and I just told him, I was like, can you just please like not call me babe? The guy I was with last called me that, and I would just really prefer if you did it, and he was totally understanding. So I don't think it's weird at all that that you're feeling this at all. And if your boyfriend really cared about you, and if you told him that, and he should change, because if this friends with benefits could like accommodate me, then I feel like a boyfriend totally should and could. So yeah, you're totally valid on like feeling that, and if you don't want someone to call you something, they don't have to. If you don't want them to, you just gotta let them know. But yeah, totally valid. I have had the same experience, and yeah, love the podcast. Okay, bye.
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
That's great advice.
Hell yeah. That is such a friends with benefits. Like, hey, babe. I love that.
I've never had that either.
You never had friends with benefits?
No. I haven't lived.
It's like 50-50. Like it either works well or it really doesn't. Because there's a level of friend you need to be at. You know what I mean? Like you can't be so close.
Oh,
but then
you might
also
lose them.
Yeah, but then also like acquaintances, and then it's like figuring out like
there's
have
a
you
level
been in
of trust that you have to balance.
You've seen me naked, and then like it's just like and then also like you have to make sure neither of you are going to catch feelings, which is also like if you immediately are both single and you're like friends with benefits, then that usually means you've been thinking about sleeping with each other for a while, and if you're friends it means you already like their personality, and so it just is like weird. Well, I guess that's it for our episode, guys. I say as if we haven't been talking for so long.
Yeah, we're gonna cut
so much.
Oh no,
we'll do. We can have bonus stuff.
Yeah, some bonus material.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah.
Plug your shit. Where can people find you?
I mean, if you go to my Instagram, Geo_Antoinette, you'll find everything there, or Barbell Brigade, or JK News. You'll find all that there.
So fucking boss lady. You have an adorable kid too.
Thank you.
So fucking cute. Congratulations. Some kids aren't cute. Oh. And you made a cute one.
Thank you so much.
You grew a penis and you made a cute dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm a cute little dude.
Dude, thank you so much. This was really nice. This was a lot of fun. You guys have great energy.
I'm so glad you could be on this. It's always exciting when we have someone who's like, what can't I say? Because I'm like, oh, cool. You're going to get on our level.
Anything. Yeah. I'm down for anything.
Yes. If you guys want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And if you're an international listener, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to listen to us ad-free, check us out on Stitcher. If you are wanting to leave us a review, we would love that. And then also the video version is on YouTube if you want to listen again, but you want to see some stuff this time. And follow us on Instagram, Don't Blonde Meme Pod. And that's it. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye. Don't Blame Me is a production by me. Executive produced by Melissa DeMonts. Camera operator Amanda Lechner. And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso, part of the HerPod Network.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.